Welcome back, guys. Smurfy back for round 3, and this hand is fine, I guess. So we've basically just got 5 land, 2 4-drops. But we can play both of them, like we've got the mana for them. We're actually doing something with our mana. I think we keep this and just hope we draw something early, or our opponent doesn't kill us. And judging by their deck, they won't be killing us too early. So we've actually got a turn 2 Rampager playing around Censor, which is really good. Just pass the turn. I found that Attune into Greenbelt Rampager is one of the best plays against the control decks, just because they can't censor it, and it's such a huge body. It plays around Magma Spray and Harness Lightning if they don't have an Aether Hub. As I mentioned, we can play the Voltaic Brawler, but this plays around Censor, so I think it's worth just doing this, and then we can play this next turn. And this only adds 1 extra power to the board if you pump it. And it doesn't play around Magma Spray or Harness Lightning. Against blue-red, I definitely want to be playing a Greenbelt Rampager deck. I guess we just play the Mountain. I'll get him for 3 first. I was thinking about playing blue-red for the GP Amsterdam, just because it's good against Marvel. I'm pretty sure it's really good against Marvel, so you can just counter their Marvels and then should be able to outgrind them. Although at the PT I did see a lot of people playing very grindy versions of Marvel decks. I think that was to beat the control matchups, but it's still just like if you look at the GP top 8s, it's basically all just Teemo Marvel at this minute. Okay, they're playing a looks like a Grixis mana base, so they might just be playing that to cycle, or it might just be the combo deck we played in round 1, but I doubt it, considering they have Magma Spray. I think that might just be a land they're playing that cycles. Well, we're going to attack first, see what happens. This like plays around Radiant Flames, it just plays around so many cards. I think Greenbelt is really good in standard at the minute. And we're going to play a Chandra because we have a backup one. So if this gets countered, it's not the end of the world. Void Shatter, sure. Because I chose to Void Shatter, I expect they... Oh, just a tap land, okay, sure. Yeah, so we can play Chandra or Bristling Hydra or Voltaic Brawler. I think we just want to play Chandra again. We'll attack first. Well, if we play Bristling Hydra this turn, next turn we could go Chandra into Voltaic Brawler, but I think if we're playing Chandra, we don't want to be using the plus to make energy, we'd rather just plus to deal damage. So, yeah, we're just going to play Chandra here again. And another 3 mana counter spell, yeah. That's fine, they haven't had the time to use like a Glimmer of Genius yet, which is good for us. We basically want to give them as access to as little mana as possible every turn. Now if they want to use their land, then we can just Harness Lightning it. And if Greenbelt has actually done 12 damage, which is insane. Yeah, we'll play I'm gonna tap correctly. Play the Brawler. Oh, no. Again, we will play correctly and play the Bristling Hydra. And if this gets countered, we'll play the Brawler. I guess we could have done it the other way around in case they wanted to Essence Scatter the Brawler. I'm not sure. Again, they didn't use Glimpse of Nature there. Sorry, Glimmer of Genius. Incendiary Flow, sure. Just gonna keep chipping in with this, and they have to answer it eventually. Even if it's just something like a Gear Hulk, then we can just harness lightning it. Seem to flood a lot with this deck. I feel like 22 lands plus 4 attune is just way too many. Or if you're going to play this many, at least play the cycling lands. So it'd be really good if they could Gear Hulk here, so we could just harness lightning it. They don't really have anything to flash back either. And they still just have nothing. We'll play this in the Glade and pass. Well, they got End of Turn, Glimmer of Genius. Sure. So I think they don't have they just don't have a 2-mana counterspell for, because I think what they were doing was just not glimmering before damage in case we just went. And if they didn't draw any interaction, then they couldn't have just kept up a counterspell for Chandra. Yep, this is dead. So all we need to do is get in 2 damage, which should not be difficult, but keep just drawing lands. And yeah, definitely not playing this many lands next time, because this is just ridiculous. Nine lands and an Attune with Aether for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spells. And another Harness Lightning, which does not a lot in this matchup. So, although it's going to kill our opponent's win conditions, the problem is that their win conditions don't necessarily have to win the game. They can just win from Glimmer Geniusing 3 times. Yeah, they'll just go Gear Hulk, Flashback Glimmer Genius, and we're just going to get buried in card advantage. To the point where we never get to resolve a threat, and then eventually they will kill us. So all they've done there is played a threat, we've answered it, so 1 for 1, but then they've drawn 2 cards from here and scryed 2. So we're just so far behind. Even if they are on 2 life, it's going to be so difficult to even get any damage in. They've got 6 cards in hand and we're in top deck mode, and they've probably got a couple of draw spells in hand. Yeah, like, we'll play this out and it will just get killed or countered. They might just use Gear. Oh no, it's going to Magma Spray, sure. But we do have enough energy between how much we've got stored and the Harness Lightning to kill another Gear Hulk. It's going to Gear Hulk again. They've got another Glimmer Genius in their graveyard if they do. Pull from Tomorrow. Yeah, we're not going to sit here and play this out. They have the game just completely locked down at that point. Like, if we'd just drawn like any sort of threat so much earlier in the game, I mean, we just crushed them, but nope. Alright, we want Hellions, just go low to the ground. I think we just want all the threats we can and cut all the removal. Probably want Intervention. I'm not sure. So 1, 2, 3. 3 of our hits. 3 of our threats get hit by Sweltering Suns and Radiant Flames. Or it'll be Sweltering Sun. It won't be Radiant Flames. That might be why they're playing the black Cycle Land as well, just to fuel Radiant Flames. But if they need more than 4 Sweltering Suns, but I don't really want to. Maybe we do bring them in. We'll stick with this for now. Two Nisses should be really good in this matchup, as well as the Chandras, and Tireless Trackers are very good in matchups. I'm not sure how good the Hellion is because you have to keep paying energy into it, but it's so fast, I think it's worth it. So the blue-red deck typically will bring in the 4th Sweltering Suns if they play 3 main deck, which normally they do. And then they'll probably just bring in like any extra Magma Sprays or Harness Lightnings that they're not playing. I think they normally play 4 of each anyway. And then they'll bring in the extra Essence Scatter. They'll probably take out some Negates. They might not because we have so many Planeswalkers, but they can expect that we have a lot of Planeswalkers. But again, they line up really poorly early game. A lot of the control decks sideboards is actually just to beat other grindy decks. So things like Dispels and what else do they play in their sideboard? I think it's just a lot of like a variety of different counter spells like Essence Scatter, Negate, Dispel, and we definitely want to play first. Alright, this is more like it. We'll keep we'll play the Glade first. I don't think it makes too much difference if we play it first or third, but I think we want the Brawler to resolve more because it gives us energy for the Hellion, so I'm going to play that first. And opponent just passes the turn back. So we can play either of these two, but I think we've got such an aggressive hand, we can probably just afford to play around Censor, because it doesn't really slow us down that much. So we're getting for 3. We can pump, but I don't think it's worth it, because we have the Hellion and another Brawler anyway. Also could just play Ronas here. So if we play Ronas next time we can play Hellion or both of these. Nah, we'll just play I think we'll play a cup this time. As again, it can just get more energy. Or they're gonna just Essence Scatter, sure. So it's better that they Essence Scatter that than one of our 3 drops anyway. I guess the other option is if we played a 3-drop, the next time we could play 2 2-drops, which would have been very difficult for them to counter. So maybe it was better to play a 3-drop there. I think it's pretty difficult to work out what is best, but we'll play the Hellion here. Hopefully they don't have a 3-mana counter spell. Looks like they do. Sure. Alright, now we don't have much to use that energy with. We're just going to pump with the Brawler to get in extra damage. Because we've got 2, 3, 4 energy. I don't want to have the game where they're on like a couple of life and we've got a bunch of energy that we could have used. So we might as well just use it now. Getting the extra damage. Just going to cycle Censor. Played another Aether Hub, so it looks like they're struggling for land. Aether Hub is not great because if they want to use a 3-mana counter spell, they're double blue. Again, we're going to get in for 4. What normally happens is the first threat you play sticks to the board and then they can counter everything else, but eventually they have to catch up and kill the creature on board. Play Ronas. See if they have any shenanigans. So now we can play the Brawler, but then we get punished by any sort of board wipe, so I think we just want to pass. Yeah, we'll just pass there. And it's going to cycle sensor, sure. So we would have got the Brawler censored anyway. And it's got magma spray, so we can't. This doesn't save it anyway. Sure. So now we just need to stick another threat and then pump it with Ronas, so Ronas can attack. I think we want to play the Voltaic Brawler. We can play Glorybringer, I guess. Yeah. I don't expect this to resolve, but if it does, then we're looking really good because we've just got lethal on board. So if they want to kill this, they have to kill it now before Ronas can attack. Just Harness Lightning, sure. Again, our opponent is like not got the best mana, so these are effectively just colorless lands at this point. So if this resolves, then we can keep it alive with Blossoming Defense. If I can tap my mana correctly. It's also worth noting that Ronas cannot pump himself. It's another target creature. Ronas just going to take it. Sweet. So if our opponent Glimmer Geniuses this turn, then they have to draw an answer for the Voltaic Brawler. So they have to draw not only a kill spell, but a counter spell for this as well. Which hopefully they don't have, and they also have to answer whatever we draw as well if we draw a threat, which we probably won't, judging by our lands, our draws so far for this game, or this league, should I say? All right, so they've used the negate. So now the only cards that we're scared of are Essence Scatters or Harness Lightnings. Tireless Strike is a really good one to draw. So if we play it now, we can, and we kill them, that's great obviously, but we also do have the option of missing out on a load of value if they do have the removal spell. I think we want to play it and just hope they don't. Because if we have the chance to win, I think we should just take it now. If they have Harness Lightning, they have it, but yeah. So the other option was to just keep it until we draw a land, then we play the tracker and then play the land and get a clue, but I think putting our opponent under the pressure so they have to answer it straight away was better. Because like, if they didn't have a Harness Lightning there, then they just lost. Or a Magma Spray, I guess. Alright, another good draw, fortunately for us. And both of these are lethal. So if they can kill this before combat, then they're fine. They do have Gear Hulk mana up now, though. Yep. And Essence Scatter, sure. So now they have a 4-turn clock that we do need to answer, and also even if we just draw a creature and they don't attack with the Gear Hulk, then we can't even get through. But they're just going to attack with the Gear Hulk every turn. But they are down to 1 card in hand, which is really good for us. Of course we draw a land here. Yeah, we're just going to pass. Things are looking pretty bad at this point. Just because we have to draw a threat. And for them not to have an answer. And if they do, then we have to just keep repeating that until we eventually stick one. Okay, so they've only got 1 card in hand. And draw Cinderglade. Yeah, it's probably just nothing we could have done at this point. Like, we could have obviously sandbagged the Tireless Tracker, so I'm not sure if that was correct to play it or not. I think it was fine to just play it and hope they don't have anything. Because the upside of them just losing the game on the spot is worth it, I think. In that situation. If it was like, draw multiple cards, then I would have probably held it back, but I'm not sure. Alright, we have this turn to draw something. Alright. Unfortunately, if we attack, they just use a creature land to block. So I think we actually have to pass here. And then use the Ronas during their turn to pump the Voltaic Brawler and then block with our Ronas. The problem with this is 1, 2, 3, 4. They do have mana if they want to like Glimmer Genius here, whereas if we attacked, they wouldn't. And just go Harness Lightning, sure. I don't think there was too much play to that. I really, this is the first league I've played with this list, and I'm really disliking the land count because we've lost pretty much every round from just flooding every single time, and I feel like that we haven't actually really had a chance. Obviously, there's been plays that I could have done better, but like, especially the first round, things like that, I'm not sure I like this list. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in round 4.